Okay, watching this movie, I wasn't the only one that had flashbacks to Spider-Man the animated series, right? Or is that just me? What up, everybody? It's your boy D coming at you with episode of DA Experience. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I have a new review for you. If you haven't seen, I've been on vacation the last couple of weeks. Go check out the other videos. I did the Parkology Challenge. I went on vacation with the family, so I haven't had a chance to put up too much. But I'm back again this week. We got another Marvel movie, MCU. It's the return of Tom Holland, Spider-Man after Avengers and Endgame. We have Spider-Man Far From Home, which is pretty much Spider-Man on a field trip. What I liked about this movie is that it focused a lot on Peter Parker and his life. It actually it had more of that in it, whereas Homecoming was him becoming Spider-Man, getting used to the suit. You had a lot more of him in the suit at times. This one, you had a lot more of him and Peter Parker and trying to find that balance between being Spider-Man and being Peter Parker. And then you have the whole looming effect of what happened at the end of Endgame and how now the status quo has changed and he's in a new place, but he just wants to be a teenager pretty much, and he can't because he's had to fight in a world ending battle, and now he's kind of on a new level. Introduces Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who I loved in this movie. They nailed this character. You knew, if you know the character, you know that there's something up, but I'm not going to go too much into spoilers, but just be wary of Mysterio, I say that much. It also has Tom Holland interacting with Sam Jackson's Nick Fury for the first time. He's in this movie a lot, as well as Kobe Smoller's Maria Hill, which I liked. The downside to the movie is like the first hour of it, it seems like everybody is trying to get back into the groove of things. The humor wasn't landing as much for me, and it kind of felt like everybody was phoning it in. But about the time they get to, we'll say, Paris, the movie starts to come together, and everyone seems to like kind of feel better with their characters. All the characters get a lot more time in this, from Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan to Zendaya as MJ to even Flash Thompson and Ned and Betty Brant, who was mainly a side character in the first one. They all seem to get a lot more time in this, a lot more character focus, which I liked a lot. The elementals in this, they were kind of meh. They look good, but they weren't really as big as a threat as you think. There's a real threat at the end that happens, and it's a lot more interesting when it comes to that. It does have one of the best Spider-Man fights I've ever seen. Like, this is up there on Spider-Man 2 versus Doc Ock on the subway levels. They introduced this system, and it worked perfectly for the way this character worked, and I loved that scene. I love the way that ended with they even introduced the Spidey sense to the movie, which played a big part into it. And I can see the evolution of the Spidey sense from Homecoming to Infinity War to now this one. So hopefully the next one we actually have him calling it the Spidey sense. All in all, it's a fun movie. It's a great way to wrap up all of the somberness and the heartfeltness and the oh my god anxiety that came with the last 2 years with Infinity War and Endgame. It's a lot like Captain Marvel, whereas they were like, okay, we're going to set something in the future. This is like after all that. There is a big status quo change at the end of it. Stay for both post-credit scenes. The second one is meh, but the first one, the mid-credit scene, oh my God, talk about a game changer. There's a big moment that changes everything. You're sitting there like, okay, where do they go from here? And I was talking with my local comic book store owner, and we were both trying to figure out, well, when is this going to get followed up on? Because do they have anything set up for May 7th? So if you can think of anything they have set up for next year, only two things I could come up with were Black Widow or the New Mutants, which they're going to have to release at some point. But why would they give it their biggest tentpole weekend of the year, even though they haven't done that the last 2 years? But we'll get back into that. Definitely go check out Spider-Man Far From Home if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're an MCU fan, if you're just a comic book fan. It's just a fun movie. Once you get past the first hour and it gets back into its rhythm, it actually gets going once you realize, like, oh, this is just Spider-Man on a field trip. That's what the movie is. That's what it comes down to. And there's a good message involved, which I liked a lot. That's going to do it for me. I'll see y'all next time. Here's hoping it's a good one. I'm out. Oh yeah, Lion King. Peace.